Hey guys, welcome to Neat Movie News. My name is Dean Thomas.
His name is Dean. We like Dean.
And Happy New Year to all of you guys out there, or at least those of you that follow the Gregorian calendar, the one we use here in the United States. But because it is now 2017, I thought it would be fun to look forward to the movies coming out this year. So I counted down and I ranked my top 10 most anticipated movies for this year. This was a tough list to make. There's so many movies you wish you could have put on there. And you'll notice on my list, I actually removed all comic book movies because they would have consumed this list entirely. And I actually did my own separate list ranking my most anticipated comic book movies, which you can find out right there, actually. Right there, if you click there, you can find my list on that. So you won't find any comic book movies on this list, but you're still going to find some big blockbusters. I've got a couple of independent movies, and obviously, these are the movies that I'm excited for right now. Things can change. A movie that you didn't even know about suddenly appears, or a fantastic trailer comes out. But as of right now, at the start of 2017, these are the 10 movies I'm looking forward to most in this year. Let's start it off at number 10 with The Mummy.
Welcome to a new world of gods and monsters.
We've heard so much that Universal is now starting their own shared monsters universe, which actually sounded pretty cool to me. But you're curious as to how they're going to pull that off. And this first trailer for The Mummy got me really excited. And I was like, okay, maybe they can pull this off. It looks like they're going to use Tom Cruise as kind of the guy that will be able to go in between these franchises, or at least that's how it appears to me right now. And honestly, I'm a fan of those original Mummy movies back in the 90s. I had a lot of fun with them just because I was a kid and I liked it. But also because Egyptian mythology and their whole kind of culture really interests me. So I'm hoping we get some of that in here. It looks like it's going to be a big blockbuster, but with some scary elements. And I'm really excited to see Sofia Boutella play the Mummy. I think it's an interesting thing to put a woman as the Mummy. She looks intimidating, and I've loved her in everything she's been in because she's got such a great physicality, whether it was in Kingsman when she had those knife leg things, or whether it was when she was in Star Trek Beyond as an alien. There's just a lot of really cool things about her physicality that she can do that I think will play very well as the Mummy. And just overall, I'm really excited to see this movie. You got Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, so that'll be cool to see. So overall, I think the Mummy could be one of those really just kind of fun, big blockbuster action movies with a little bit of horror put in there as well. So that's why I rank The Mummy at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is a movie that there isn't a lot of information out about there right now, but it's the people involved and the simple story thing that is out there right now that has me interested. So number 9 for me is The Snowman. The basic story goes is that this boy finds his mom's scarf wrapped around kind of a creepy looking snowman, and she's disappeared. And a detective is called in to investigate her disappearance, and he begins to think it's the work of a serial killer. That right there, there's these kind of mystery crime movies, they always grab my attention. And then you're going to throw in the cast, which got me way excited because playing the detective is my favorite actor working today, Michael Fassbender. You put him in any movie, I'm going to be there to see it, regardless of anything else. Add in the great story, and then add in that Rebecca Ferguson is in this movie, who was great in Mission Impossible 5, and she was also really good on the Girl on the Train, which I liked as a movie. It wasn't a great movie, but I thought she was really great in it. And then you've also got the director who's directing the movie. He's directed movies like Let the Right One In, and a critically acclaimed horror movie, and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. So we got a good director attached. So for me, although we don't know much about this movie, it's the talent involved and the basic story plot that has me excited, and why I put it at number 9 on my list. Right, coming in at number 8 is Murder on the Orient Express, a remake of a movie that's been made, I think, more than once, to be honest with you. This movie is going to be directed by Kenneth Branagh, who directed the first Thor movie. He just directed Cinderella in 2015. A guy with some really good sensibilities as a director. Always kind of has that little bit of that English European flair, which I think calls for in this movie. And it's a stacked cast, too. Kenneth Branagh will also be in the movie, but you've got Daisy Ridley, Johnny Depp, Michael Pena, Judi Dench, and somebody that I'm really excited for getting a big role like this is Lucy Boynton, who played the main girl in Sing Street. So I'm reading, and it's trying to figure out who did it, what happened, all of that sort of stuff. So this movie with the cast, the story, the director, and Kenneth Branagh, I'm very much looking forward to, and that's why it comes in at number 8. Number 7 is a movie that could be something really fun and interesting, and that is Logan Lucky. Directed by Steven Soderbergh, who's directed movies like the Oceans franchise. He directed Magic Mike, Traffic, Aaron Brockovich. I mean, the guy's got an incredible resume. He's a really good director. And this movie sounds so interesting. The basic idea is two brothers try to pull off a heist during a NASCAR race. I mean, already kind of a crazy, bizarre thing, but with Soderbergh's kind of gritty, kind of down-to-earth sort of directing techniques, I think it could really work. Just with movies like Traffic, I can see him somehow influencing that into not just dark, obviously, but into the NASCAR world, which I think is just kind of crazy. The cast is like, it goes on and on and on. You've got Catherine Watterson, who I've become a really big fan of between like Steve Jobs and Fantastic Beasts. She's going to be in another movie that may be on my list a little bit later on. You've got Adam Driver, Daniel Craig, Channing Tatum, Seth MacFarlane, Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy, and Hilary Swank. So, I mean, this is a stacked cast with a really interesting plot idea and a really great director. So that's why I had to put it at number 7 on my list. Number 6, we get back to a little bit of a big blockbuster in Kong Skull Island. No, I didn't love the second trailer that came out for this. A lot of other people did. I was definitely in the minority. And it was just simply the way the trailer was cut as opposed to what I was seeing, because everything I've seen from this movie looks great. You've got Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston, John Goodman, so many great things. King Kong is the biggest we have ever seen. It looks like we're getting back to the original King Kong. You're going to be seeing some crazy monsters on Skull Island. And we're setting up for King Kong to fight Godzilla in a future movie. So I don't know how that can't get you excited. The movie's got a real apocalypse now sort of feel. It takes place in the 70s. It's got that Vietnam sort of feel. So it just seems like a really great monster movie that's going to be action-packed with some really cool creatures. And it's an up-and-coming director from Detroit, Michigan, so representing my home state. So I'm definitely going to be seeing Kong Skull Island as soon as possible, and that's why it comes in at number 6. As I mentioned Catherine Watterson earlier, she's on another movie on my list. Coming in at number 5 is Alien Covenant. I mean, the original Alien movie is one of the best horror movies ever made. Aliens is one of the better action movies ever made. And I really actually liked Prometheus quite a bit. I thought it was a really creepy, had some real horror elements. I don't really know how it connects to Alien other than the very end. It like sort of felt like it just shoehorned that in there. But Alien Covenant looks like it's really connecting it. You've got Ridley Scott coming back to the franchise, looking like he's trying to go more back towards his original Alien, a little bit more towards the horror elements. That trailer looks creepy, but it also feels like they're really blending Prometheus and Alien together, which gets me really excited. I mean, Ridley Scott just had a fantastic movie in The Martian, so I'm really, really looking forward to this movie because it's a franchise I've really come to like. I'm getting more into horror. This is my kind of horror movie with this. I'm really excited, and it looks creepy as heck. Number 4, I don't know. The trailer kind of blew me away, and that is Blade Runner 2049.
I had your job once. I was good at it. Things were simpler then.
Denis Villeneuve, my best pronunciation, who is one of my favorite directors working. I mean, Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival this year. The guy is an incredible director. You bring in him back, teaming it with Roger Deakins, maybe the best cinematographer of all time. I mean, just watch the trailer and look at the incredible images he's putting on screen. It feels like the original Blade Runner, which is a movie I really, really like. It's a really cool, unique sci-fi noir universe. And then you add Ryan Gosling in the mix, who I've become a huge fan of in recent years. So Blade Runner 2049 has got so many things going for it. It's a sequel set about 30 years later, I believe. So this is a movie that I'm really looking forward to, and it's got some great talent behind it. So that's why it comes in at number 4. Number 3 is War for the Planet of the Apes.
And if we lose, it will be a planet of apes.
A franchise that came out of nowhere and has blown so many of us away. I mean, Rise of the Planet of the Apes was great. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was even better. It was an incredible movie. And the newest trailer for War for the Planet of the Apes looks like they're even ramping it up that much more. The technology, you believe they're real apes on screen. I mean, Andy Serkis is the godfather of motion capture. He's at it again. You really come to the crazy thing about these movies is in the first movie, you're kind of siding with Caesar, but you're with the humans as well. And since then, suddenly, we don't care about the humans. We want to see these apes take over. It looks like it's leading into the original Planet of the Apes movies in a very interesting way. I mean, the visuals in this trailer are incredible. The war-type scenes. You got Woody Harrelson playing the bad guy. This is a movie that I cannot wait to see. It looks like it's going to be continuing. There's another movie continuing this fantastic franchise they established just a couple years ago. So that's why War for the Planet of the Apes comes in at number 3. All right, into the top 2, and coming in at number 2 is Dunkirk.
There are 400,000 men on this beach.
Christopher Nolan is my favorite director working today for so many of his movies. Whether you want to talk about Insomnia, Memento's crazy, Inception, The Prestige, not to mention he's made my favorite all-time movie in Batman Begins. We all know how great The Dark Knight is. So him getting into his war movie, is this his Saving Private Ryan? I just really think this movie's going to be great because he is such a great director. Now, the latest trailer didn't blow me away. I thought it was weirdly edited, kind of weirdly paced, but it doesn't give anything away, and that's what Nolan always does in his trailers. I've got faith in him. My only concern with this movie is that it'll be rated PG-13. If it's rated PG-13, I think that kills so much of it because this is based on a true story. In war movies, they call for an R rating. That's what a war movie needs to really have the impact and to show you how awful and ugly war truly is. So as long as this movie gets an R rating, then my excitement will only continue to grow. I mean, you've got Kenneth Branagh in this. I mean, I had mentioned him earlier with The Murder on the Orient Express. You've got Cillian Murphy, who works with Nolan great all the time. He's a great actor. And you've got Tom Hardy. And based on the very little, and I thought it was interesting, that trailer, you get one quick shot of Tom Hardy. And it looks like he might even be an enemy pilot. So that's already interesting. I mean, the movie's based on a true story of one of the biggest evacuations in war history, really. You've got so many soldiers trapped on a beach, British soldiers trapped on a beach that had to try to escape. So Dunkirk, to me, has got so much potential. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan behind the lens, and that should be enough. So that's why Dunkirk comes in at my number 2. And number 1 is a movie that I'm sure we'll all be losing our minds, and we probably already are losing our minds just to see this movie, and that is Star Wars Episode 8.
Got there. Beautiful.
I am such a huge Star Wars fan, especially because of the way The Force Awakens reinvigorated the franchise. I fell in love with so many of the characters. I mean, I'm excited for where Poe's story's going. I'm excited for where Finn's story's going. And I've got a huge crush on Daisy Ridley. I mean, she was so fantastic as Rey in Episode 7. I can't wait to see her story continue. I mean, everyone's asking, who are her parents? Is it Luke? Now there's theories that Obi-Wan was her grandfather. Who knows where this is going? I mean, Kylo Ren. I think Adam Driver presented an incredibly layered villain who's super intimidating, and I want to see where he goes forward. And finally, we're going to get to see Luke Skywalker back. Hopefully, we get to see some sweet lightsaber action between him. I mean, I've heard rumors that, the Knights of Ren will really be showing up. We heard them mentioned in The Force Awakens. Will we get to see some big battle with them, understand who they are? Will we figure out who Snoke is? There's so many questions I want answered, and this movie could give us so many of them, and who knows, it could bring up that much more. We assume this will be like The Empire Strikes Back. It'll be darker, it'll be grittier, there won't be such a happy ending. We've got Rian Johnson directing this. He did movies like Looper and Brick. The guy's a really, really good director, just some really interesting, unique things to see. So to see what he brings to Star Wars, that's going to be fantastic. I mean, Rogue One was great. We just came off another Star Wars movie that was fantastic. So we got a whole nother year to wait, basically, for this movie. But I am already chomping at the bit to see Star Wars Episode 8. We don't even have a title yet. I mean, that's crazy. But of course, Star Wars comes in at my number 1. Well, there you guys have it. That is the 10 movies I'm looking forward to most in 27 as of right now. I would love to hear the movies you guys are looking forward to most. I'm sure, because there's so many movies coming out next year, I'm sure I left off a few that a lot of you are crazy excited for. And like I said, no comic book movies on this list, but I do have another video up with that list. So go and check that out as well. Let me run down these real quick once again. At number 10, The Mummy. Number 9, The Snowman. 8, Murder on the Orient Express. 7, Logan Lucky. 6, Kong Skull Island. 5, Alien Covenant. 4, Blade Runner 2049. 3, War for the Planet of the Apes. Number 2, Dunkirk. And of course at number 1, Star Wars Episode 8. There's my list, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at NeatMovieNews for all latest in the world of movies. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you back here next time.